Hello, everybody, and I hope you're okay. My name is Matt. Unfortunately, Kirsty's not well tonight, so she won't be joined, so it'll be just me and here on the lovely SPTV. So we're here for our usual Monday night show, where it's questions and answers, giving you opportunity to get some answers to your spiritual questions, whichever they may be. So for those people who are new to the show, the way that our Monday night works, we broadcast from 8 o'clock UK time every Monday, and each week we ask you to ask a question. The person who's chosen will answer that to the best of our abilities, and then from there what we will then do is that person will get a reading. They're the only ways you can get a reading. So although it's important, can you see my mum, you see dad, and any other relationship, we will not respond to those. So please don't post that. Post a question. It's contribute. Take part in it. We all share. The other thing is we're one big happy family here. So as a result, we want to look after each other. So what we ask of yourself is you don't post anything of a personal nature. There's only myself who only sees the questions that come up when they're put up on the screen when you see them, and the only other person is the producer who's going through. Now he's only him on his own, so he's sifting through the hundreds of messages and that you've put. So don't put anything personal. He will respond in the appropriate time. He does go through everybody's post, so please don't think he doesn't. But also, he's the only one who will respond to you during the show. So if there's anybody else says that I'm from SPTV, or would you like a reading, they've got nothing to do with SPTV. So look after yourself, take care, and just remember you're in a personal and public domain. So anything you do post goes out publicly onto the ether. So with no further ado, let's see if we have any lows. Mr. Producer, please. Nope. Hello there, Heidi Spicer. You look different, Heidi. I don't know what it is. Now, I'm loving the candy cane on your chin there as well. Lovely. Hi there, Millie B. Hello, Kerr Colbeck. Hello, Alison Barton. Hello, Christian Norberto. Hello, Julie Harcourt. Hello, Sherry Hicks. Lots of smiley faces tonight, that's good. Hello, Nicola Humphreys. Hello, Lynn Taylor. Hello, Aldo Bamos. Hello, Terry. Hope you're well, and thank you for sending healing for Kirsty also. Hello, Anne McClernon. Hello, Wendy Gawley. Yes, thank you, Wendy. And thank you also, Kelly. Hello to you, Kelly McKeaton. Hello, Christine Davis. Nice to see you. Hello, Joy Howell. Joy, did you know that you're eating baubles? I don't know if you knew. Oh, did you? Hello, Arlene Noon. Love and light to you. Hello, Stacey. Nice to see you. And thank you for sending healing to Kirsty also. Hello, Christian Roberto again. And thank you for get well for Kirsty. Hello, James Devaney. I think you were from Ireland last week when we spoke, so hello to you again. And thank you for the healing for Kirsty also. Hello, Helen C. Okay, so hello, Melanie Reinl from Wisconsin in USA. And hello, Lisa Wilkinson. Hope you're well. Hello, Vicky CH. Loving the puckered lips there. Hello, Rhonda Robertson. Hello, Eileen Fido. Fido, I'm not sure how to say that, but apologies if I've said it wrong. Thank you, Patricia Young, and nice to see you as well. And thank you for healing for Kirsty. So for those people just joining us for the first time, hello, where have you been? No, hello to you. And the way that it works is if you post a question to anything spiritual, it can be to do with mediumship, it could do with Reiki, spiritual healing, just your spiritual path, how to develop more, whatever. We will answer that to the best of our abilities, and then basically that person gets a reading. So that's how it works. And welcome to everybody, new and people who've been here quite a while, to our Monday night show that goes out 8 o'clock UK time. Check out SPTV, sptv.uk is our new website, and you can see not just only information on this show, but all the shows and all the things that SPTV are doing, including the free magazines. Hello, Laura Kay. Hello, Debs Walter. Sorry, I didn't acknowledge your message then. Hello, PLPH. Hello, Penny. Hello, Karen King. Okay, is that our first one? Hello, Jade Fleming. Hello to you. Hello, Sam Morgan. And I will give her her best and get well soon. Hello, Rose Miselic. So, hello, Rose Miselic. Got any more, and then we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do. I'll just, is any more hellos? And then do one more and then go to that. No? Okay. So what we're going to do is there's quite a few questions about spiritual paths, how to grow it. So whenever we're working spiritually, there's various ways we can develop ourselves. Obviously, we can practice, we can join circles if it's mediumship. But when we're talking spiritual, we're not just talking about mediumship, we're talking about our way of life. Now, we fall into two camps when we're looking spiritual. We have the religious spiritual, like spiritualism and other faiths, which are obviously all spiritual, in which case there's that need to go to church, go to a local centre to boost our spiritual awareness and understanding and to grow our spiritual self. So that's one side. The other side is when it's a way of life. So if we're going for a way of life, what we want to look at is that we're not just learning mediumship or learning how to be a healer or learning Reiki or anything like that. We're also looking at how we can build spirituality into our everyday life. So what has happened in my life, and I know many others have spoken to, you know, I used to, like a lot of us do when we was younger, like to have a drink, go out for a drink on a regular basis. If I drink, it's maybe one or two pints now. It's not because I'm getting old. It's just that I don't want to drink. I don't have any desire to drink. So what we find is when we grow our spiritual self, we're trying to make ourselves a purer channel, either to work mediumistically as a healer or just to make ourselves a better person. So it's about making it, like with myself, I'm a spiritualist. So from my point of view, personal responsibility is really important. So we're responsible for what we say, how we act, and also what we do. And it's about proving that. So it's about sort of saying, right, how can I prove that I'm acting spiritually? So I can think about what I think, my thoughts remain positive, think about the words that I say, and also proving my actions by helping people, by being kind. But this is the key thing that we forget as anybody who's spiritual. We give, but we also forget to give back. So part of spiritual path is giving back. So that can be through being kind to yourself, loving yourself, but also allowing yourself to grow and develop, and speaking to all different people so that you understand what you're doing and how to develop further to raise that vibration, so that when we do transfer over to the spirit world, to heaven, whatever your belief system is, that you've then ascended as high as you can be into the best of your abilities, to the divine or to the ultimate force or infinite force, whatever is your belief system. Hopefully that explains all of the questions around spiritual paths. I'm just going to very quickly tonight, guys. I'm not 100% myself, so I'm going to be using cards. I'm not going to be doing clairvoyance. So the packs that I'm going to be using tonight are going to be these ones. I am going to be using psychic readings. So I'm working with the Angel Tarot by a lovely person, Radley Valentine from Hay House. If you get a chance to do any of these courses, that really nice, gentle soul. So, Rosemary, select for yourself. I've got this one. Oh, there we go. All right. So this is the Eight of Air. So I'll read it first. So an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action. That's where it says on there. Now, within the cards that I've just shown you, and I'll put it back up again in a second, there's lots of unicorns running towards the front of the cards, and lots of things going on in the cards. And I need to say to you, Rosemary, there's lots going on in your life at the moment. It's almost like you can't see the wood for the trees. You don't know where to start. So I want to say you need grounding. I want to ground myself and sort of say, right. So if you imagine sort of roots going from the bottom of your feet, just grounding yourself, taking drinks of water, having the odd biscuit and everything when you're feeling a bit lightheaded, and just saying, right, what's important? What needs to be dealt with now? Because I feel that you're putting quite a few things off. It's almost like that can wait till tomorrow. It comes to tomorrow, that can wait for another day. Things need to be dealt with and they need to be sorted. And one of those is yourself. Taking responsibility for yourself, looking after yourself and caring for yourself. I also want to say to you that need to be around nature for that grounding process, but just to allow things that are getting to you, just to go over your head and to feel calmer and better within yourself. If I can leave that with you, thank you for working with me, Rosemary, and hopefully that spiritual path helped other people also. And that's as simple as it is. Now, normally what would happen is Kirsty would do the cards. So we're both clairvoyant, we both do mediumship as well. She does the cards and I'll do the clairvoyance, but for tonight I'm just doing the cards because, like I said, I'm not too well myself. So with no further ado, can I have a few more lows, please? Okay, all right, so, all right, okay, just 1 second. Sorry, just trying to sort out some technical difficulties. So just 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. We had a few technical problems, but we seem to have sorted it out. So hopefully now there'll be no sort of noise on the line and different disruptions. So apologies. So thank you for that, Rachel. Hello, Rachel Eddy. Nice to see you. Hello, Nikki Stainsby. Oh, happy birthday. Apparently, Nikki, it's your birthday. Hello, Anne Cunningham. Hello, Sarah Simmons. Hello, Laura Smith. Okay, so the next question is from Laura Gratz, and it says, do people become spirits because they haven't found peace, or does everyone become a spirit? Okay, so spirit, we are all spirit. We're all made up. Everything is made up of energy. So we're as we transition over, our physical coat goes, and our soul, spirit goes up to the spirit world, and then basically that's how we are. It's not that we haven't found peace within ourselves. It's just we all do that. So hopefully that helps with yourself, Laura. There are some times where people don't transition over because maybe it's tragic circumstances, they may be murdered and not realise they've gone over. They might need assistance to go over, but what we known as earthbound spirits or ghosts, as are sometimes known. But when we go over to the spirit world, we transition with spirit. Okay, so hopefully that helps. So it's as simple as that. Yeah, this one. So this is your card, and the card, if you want to make a note of it, it's the 3 of Air, and it's from Radley Valentine's Angel Tarot. For those people, when you're getting a card today, if you make a note of there, and if you Google it or something to look up the card, then you'll be able to see it clearer, because obviously I'm just flashing it up very quickly. It says, great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself or others. Now, with me, as I look at this card, I want to be surrounded by nature. I need time out. It's not because I'm not a people person. It's totally opposite. You're very much a people person, but I'm just needing that sort of just to have me time, to start thinking about myself, start thinking about my emotions, and start thinking about my needs. It's about looking after, and a word that Kirsty normally says, it's not being selfish, it's about self-care. It's about acknowledging that, you know what, I'm really tired, I'm emotionally hurt, or whatever's happening, and just to say to you, that's okay. You don't got to apologise for that, you don't got to feel guilty. People will come and sort of say, is everything okay? But rather than you say, yeah, I'm fine, I can deal with this on myself, you know, I don't need anybody's help, deep down you do. And I just need to say to you, accept people's help if you feel that they're the right people to help you. Because there'll be lots of people who want to help, but it's down to you to ask for that help also. So don't feel that you've got to say it just for the sake of it. If when the time's right and you're up to it, to sort of say to people, if you don't mind, I'd quite like to just to talk or just have a drink. It might be that you don't want to open up and you just want to just have just that company of having that comfort of having someone around you. But I do feel that there is stuff going on around yourself, and there's that need just to sort of withdraw a little bit, just to have comfort, and being in nature is the perfect time. The other thing is, sorry, we're just having fairy dust or something like that we can hear in the background. There's that need just to have you time and to sort of regain your energy and regain your composure, Laura. By doing that, couple of weeks down the line, certainly into the new year, Laura comes back and is all singing and dancing and is back to the Laura that everybody loves and knows. The final thing is, like I said, there's healing around you. Go and hug a tree. Go and hug a tree and have that comfort, because you're very much, you blend well with the earth energies. So going for woodland walks, just being outside all the time is wonderful. Being confined inside is a bit constraining for yourself. But at the moment, it's just about taking time for Laura. Hopefully that makes sense to yourself, and thank you for your question. So any of those, please, Mr. Producer. Hopefully we won't have any more technical problems or fairy dust noises. Hello, Charmaine Walsh from Northern Ireland, lovely place. Hello, Belinda Jones. Hello, Kittia Lee. Okay, so next one is for Rachel Eddy, and it says, do you think that we meet certain people for certain reasons, angel guidance perhaps? Okay, there are no times that I have found in all of my time that I've been on my spiritual path that I have got to the point where I think things just happen for a reason. They are meant to happen. The people that cross your path to give you further enlightenment, further knowledge, for certain wisdom, and allow you to grow and to move up further on in your path. When those people have fulfilled their needs, and I'm sorry if this sounds negative, it's not meant to be this, but this is a fact, when they've met those needs and they're no longer offering you, that's when we tend to pull away from people, either from our own choosing, or if it doesn't, there's some sort of falling out or whatever. The people who grow with us are the people who develop with us also. So if we think of a relationship, not just a friendship, a relationship like with a partner, you know, we have times where we grow like this and we're together 30, 40, 50 years where we move at different rates, but we're growing together. And then there's other times where unfortunately we split because there is no longer a connection. Now, even when there are people who have hurt us, or there's that relationship as divided, then they have also taught us something. The things that we want, the things that we had to learn, the things that we didn't want or we don't like. And it's not just about them teaching things like that. It's also about them teaching things about ourselves. You know, certain friends, family, relationships teach us the importance of being valued, to love yourself and all of that. And even if that person comes in for a short space of time, then they've taught us that, and allows us then to grow that ability to love ourselves and to think more positively. For example, if there is another thing I believe is that if there is a time where you're with somebody, it can be in a relationship or a friendship or just a colleague at work, that they irritate you, then I also believe that if there is an irritation, then it's about you looking at why it irritates you, because in most cases you will find that irritation is something you don't like about yourself. So hopefully that explains everything to you, Rachel, but most definitely it's not just angel guidance, it's any sort of, it's your general development as a human being, as a spiritual person, everything has a purpose. So with yourself, let's shuffle the cards. Oh, we have a jumper, and it's a card we've already had tonight as well. So we have an 8 of air, and this card is about taking everything in your stride with this card, and not rushing to sort of, not to be impatient. So just to be clear with these cards, I might get the same card over and over again, but it'll have a different meaning for different people. So with yourself, Rachel, it's about being patient. It's about waiting times, allowing things to unfold in the way they're meant to, allowing things to develop in which way. And I want to say with yourself, you will notice for the last 2.5 years has been your greatest development throughout of your life. You've seen the most changes within yourself. That's almost like I need to say to you, you've found yourself again. So just as it's taken that amount of time to find yourself again, then don't rush the next stage of the process. I do want to say that I do feel that you are very intuitive, that there are abilities there within yourself. And I want to say with you, I need to be by water, not by nature like in woodlands. And I want you by water because of affinity with the water. With that, and for you, I want the colour red as being important for yourself, because there's that need for strength as you're not sleeping properly at the moment, and you're having quite restless sleep. So thank you for your question, Rachel, and hopefully that made sense to you in the reading. Thank you. Okay, any more hellos, please, Mr. Producer? Hello there, Maz Harding. Oh, and Ant as well. Hello, Deborah Crow. Apologies if I'm pronouncing some of these names wrong, guys. Hello, Hezval. Okay, so the way that Monday nights work each Monday is you pose a question to us of a spiritual nature. So it may be about mediumship, Reiki, spiritual healing, your spiritual path, anything of a spiritual nature. Ask those, we'll answer those to the best of our abilities. And if we don't know, we'll be honest and say we don't know. But basically, answer those to the best ability, and the person who's chosen them will give a reading to. So that's the only way that you can get a reading. So if you're asking for readings, can you see this, can you see that? Will I meet him again, or any of those types of things? Unfortunately, unless you pose a question, then we won't be answering those. The other thing is, there may be some of you thinking, I've posted my question 3 or 4 times, and this producer hasn't done anything yet. You know, he's ignoring me. He's not ignoring anybody. He's just one person. If you think on average, there can be anything up to 1,000 questions sometimes that come through. So just give him time. He will get through them. And the final thing, you don't post anything personal, because we want you to protect yourself. We don't want you to feel quite vulnerable, because you're putting it out in the public domain. And so look after yourself. Think wisely before you post anything of a personal nature. Okay. Okay, so the next one is from Catherine Smith, or Smythe. It says, I keep having a missing girl come to me in my dreams. How do I put her at peace? She wants her body to be found. Okay, so what I would do is, if she keeps coming to you, there is a reason that she keeps coming to you. I notice if this is the girl, I'm not saying this is the girl, but if this is the girl, the Thames Valley Police one, contact Thames Valley Police. Say to them, I don't know why I keep getting this. She's shown me this location, she's shown me this, and pass on the information. It's not about us to interpret what it is, but by passing on that, then you're allowing her to be at peace. And then the police will do the relevant investigations. They will pass on that information to the family, which then will also put her at peace. We are very much a messenger, and we don't have to be working mediums to pass that on. There are many people who are not working mediums who have psychic and mediumistic abilities, where they have these random dreams, and I'm not saying this is what's happening with you, that have random dreams that they just dismiss and think, oh, it's just my imagination, or I've got this, perhaps I might get it wrong. I always believe you get that, and that person has come to you for a particular reason. It may be that you've had a similar circumstances in your life. So, for example, if a person was bullied and you were bullied, then there would be sort of a connection there. If you were quite a strong person and they were a strong person, there's a connection there. Whatever the connection is, and it could simply be that the person feels like like-mindedness. It could be that they feel quite comforted by your energy, so they're drawn to your energy for whatever reason. In order for you to do your bit, it's just to pass on that information. Once you've done that, then you've done your work. There's many a time I have in mediumship where I'm working, and there's one person who's like, just pass this on. And if I don't give that off, then it continues to come back all night, and then I have to find some way of channeling it to sort of make that message go to that person. So for yourself, that you've then passed it on to the relevant authorities, it's giving you peace of mind that you've done what you needed to do. You've done your best of that young girl. So I'm assuming it's Leah from what you've got there. Come home, Leah, because I'm only seeing the poster that you've put up. So hopefully that helps, Catherine. Okay, so yes, well done with that, and please pass that on to Thames Valley Police, and hopefully this young girl is found and her body's put with peace. Okay, as I mentioned, for those people just joining us, I'm not doing any clairvoyance, no demonstration mediumship tonight. I'm just doing psychic readings using the cards. So just so you're aware, and I'm using the Angel Tarot by Radley Valentine when I'm using those cards. So for you, Catherine, It's the 8 of water. So the card says, I desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful, spiritual, emotional growth. I need to say to you, it's about acknowledging your emotions and not allowing your emotions to rule you. It's about allowing yourself to know when to feel and when not to feel, because I do feel that your emotions become overwhelming at times and that you do get very upset and it can bring you down, and that's not a healthy place to be. So I'm just showing you this card. There's the card. It's the 8 of water from the Angel Tarot. So obviously you can't really see it, so tap it into Google and the card will come up so you can see it for yourself. But within this, it's about also, I'm seeing the chalices, the cups, and for me, it's about refilling your cup, allowing yourself to recharge and allowing it to sort of replenish your energy rather than give all the time and drowning your energy. I also want to change my mindset when I get into that of thinking the cup is half full rather than half empty. And it's changing that mindset to keep it positive all the time. By learning to shut down your abilities, because you have got abilities, because otherwise you wouldn't see so vividly within your dreams. It allows you sort of peace for yourself just to be able to do the things that you need to do, which you need to do on a day-to-day basis. It's not healthy to be open all the time and not have that switch off for yourself. But also acknowledge your emotions make you who you are. So I don't mean shut them off and ignore them, but it's about managing them. Know when today, you know what, I'm not in the right place, I need to look after myself. And other times when you feel like, you know, I want to tell the world I love it, you know, look after the planet, whatever else, then you do. And, you know, when you want to engage people, you do, and when you don't, you draw back. With myself, you know, I work with so many people over the years and, you know, on a regular basis. So sometimes I like just to have time just for me, because when you're dealing with people all the time, and that, whether this is your full-time job or whether it's you're just surrounding the community by lots of people, you need that shutdown just to recharge, and it's a way of replenishing yourself. So it's not mean that you're antisocial or you're anything negative. It's just need to pull back from people, so you're not giving all the time, and you're just allowing yourself just to heal and recharge and rebuild and fill back up, so you can go about and do your normal day-to-day. Hopefully that helps, Catherine. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you can get in touch with the police and pass on that information, and thank you very much for posting that. Guys, hopefully some of these readings are making sense for you. If you can just give some feedback, yes, that makes sense, no, it doesn't make sense, whatever, it would be appreciated for ourselves. So, any more hellos, please, Ms. Producer? Just replenish and recharge my cup. Hello there, Sue Walls. Nice family picture there. Hello, Andrew Rees. Hello, GD. Hello, Wendy Baird. Hello, Julie Brinkley. Okay, so we have a question here from YouTube, from Millie B. I've never found an answer to why do good souls feel so much pain and suffering in this life and bad people get away with so much negatives. Okay, I mentioned early on in the evening about personal responsibility. And we all have personal responsibility, Millie, including you and including myself. Now, the best way to describe, to explain this, if you think of a car plant and all the workers on the car plant, there's people putting the wheels on, there's other people who are putting the lights, and other people are putting the engine and putting the electronics, and along the way they're all doing their little bit, and there might be a worker that doesn't get quite right, so the car has to go back to another stage. But there are very little workers within that factory. So say it was a factory of 1,000, there'll probably only be about 10 who actually see the car drive out and see it fully complete. All the others just see what they do on a day-to-day. So the good people suffer pain, but so do the bad. And sometimes we don't, where I'm going with this analogy of the factory, we don't see what happens to them, because what happens to them may happen on the other side. Because we all need to carry, we are developing from one world to the next. So throughout this life, we're developing, we're learning, we're growing as spiritual beings. So when we transition over, we ascend higher. But for some people, we don't ascend because of the things we do. So, for example, if we're a murderer, we go over there, we still learn to develop, but we'll be at a lower level. So I don't believe in heaven and hell, and I'm not saying that's wrong. And if I offend anybody, apologies, but that's just not my belief system. So there's no purgatory, there's no sort of waiting rooms, anything like that. We have different levels in which we ascend to. So obviously, if we've been a bad person, we've done something horrible, we go to a lower. But even over there, we are learning how to become a better person. Now, some people, if you believe in reincarnation, we will come back, and then we need to learn those lessons. So if we've been a bad person, perhaps in the next life, we're perhaps going to be a priest or something to understand what that part of the life, because we've obviously been a murderer or somebody horrible, that we've learned that in the life that we've just left. So we do suffer. Now, because we're human, we might not project that we are, I'm suffering because I've done this horrible thing, it doesn't bother me. We might say all these things, but inside we come to a point either in this life or in our next life to sort of say, I did wrong. And there's so many times that I've seen people have it in a demonstration or private readings where they've said, I don't want that person to come through. They weren't a very nice person, and the person's wanted to come through to apologize. And they've wanted to come to apologize because they've realized that they've done wrong. So even if they were a bad person here, when they're developing on the other side, because we continue to grow on the other side, we've still got plenty of learning, it doesn't stop within our physical, is that we then get to the point of where we say, looking back now, that person who I used to make fun of in the playground, or I used to do this, is that I need to take responsibility for that. I did wrong, and I can see that now in hindsight, so I want to go back and apologize. However, it's down to the person here in the earth plane whether they want to accept it. What I will also make clear is you don't have to accept the apology. If you don't want that person to come through, if a medium said, I've got this person, you thought, oh, I didn't like that person, I didn't want them to come through, then you just say, do you mind if you don't bring those through? You have that right as well. All right, so hopefully that explains all of that. If there's anything I've missed, Millie, then please come back to me. So hopefully the analogy of the car plant makes sense to yourself also. So, okay, right. You know what? I've shuffled these over and over again. It's not a fix, guys. All right, this is the third time I've had this card out of 4 or 5 readings tonight. So with this card, this is about you being the leader. So for this, it's the 8 of air. So you can make a note of it, Millie. You can look at this. And it's the Angel Tarot. So I think I had this one. I've just shuffled them all, and this one came out. So this is about you being a leader and sort of standing up for what you believe to be right and not sort of taking no for an answer. This is also about you acknowledging your strength and your courage, and that nothing can put you down. And I want to regain my power. I want to say, in the past, things have got you down, but you're a different Millie now. You're a different Millie B, and in the sense you're coming back with confidence, you're coming back with strength. And you're learning that ability to say no now. The other thing I need to say to you, because it's the first unicorn that I'm drawn to, you stand out from the crowd, not because of what you stand for or whatever, it's because of this heart, and you speak from the heart. Even if it's perhaps not liked by some people what you say, it comes from the right place. The people who take it as a criticism or in the wrong way are the people who have their issues or their take on it. It's not a reflection of you. The final thing I need to say to you is stand on solid ground. Make sure you know the facts and you know what you're talking about. And I feel this is prevalent at the moment. There's been a situation around you where there's not been seen the full facts of what's going on. So I just need to say to you, what you see, you are you can take, you understand, you can be responsible for your actions, your words, your deeds, and everything else, and your thoughts. But the other person has to be responsible for theirs. Everyone has a part to play, whether on a positive and negative thing. So it's about standing your ground, but also seeing not just black and white, but some of the grey areas as well. Hopefully that makes sense to you, and thank you very much for working with me, Millie. So as I said, if you've been watching the show, I'm not just giving the same reading from the same card. If you play it back, all the same cards that I've given, I've all had a different reading, a different interpretation. So when you are reading cards, and this goes for everybody, don't go, right, this is what the Eight of Cups means. Also use your intuition, what feels right. Now, if it means that when you are reading the tarot book of what the the certain cards mean, and you feel that's what this person needs, then give them that interpretation, but also give them what it feels like and trust that, because no cards are the same, no two people are the same, you included, and each reader is different and unique. So don't try and be somebody else that you've seen and thought they were amazing, because also the spirit world have seen that you're amazing also, so acknowledge that. Okay? Any more hellos, please, Mr. Producer? Hello, Billy Hooper. Hello, Ashley. Hello, GD. Hello, Laura Doherty. Hello, Nicole Estrada. So just remember, guys, when we only answer questions when it comes through with a spiritual question. From there, you may get answers to some of the questions you're answering, but you have to post that, because it's about sharing knowledge and understanding with this show. So Teresa Thatcher, good evening to you. On there. So, right, Teresa, I'm going to answer your question. So Teresa's put, good evening, I'm awful at pretending everything's okay, which is worse in the long run. Is it better to be honest if you feel comfortable too? I want to say to you, it's always best to be honest. And it's not always being honest with others, it's about honest with yourself. And if things are not going right, it's about you acknowledging that within yourself and saying, you know what, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for some advice, or just simply, I know it's difficult with the COVID and everything. I'm not going to say condoning this, but it's okay to have a hug. Obviously with restrictions, that's difficult now. But what I mean is, whatever we need, we need. So it's always better to be honest with other people. When we think about honesty, a lot of people think, no, I need to tell the truth all of the time. But the greatest honesty has always got to be with yourself. And it's about evaluating all the time. So if I come into contact, let's say Mr. Producer one day, so I'm randomly out in the town and I see Mr. Producer, one day he might be like really off at me because he says, you know what, Matt, on that show, your jokes were rubbish. Now, I can be honest with myself and think, well, actually, I thought them jokes were quite good. Or I could sort of think back, well, why does he think? Why did he react the way he did? Equally, I could be out in the town and he could be like really nice and I bark at him and say, Mr. Producer, you know what? You always give me lots of work to do on your show. And he's then got to look at that. But he's also got to be honest, if he believes that he's in the right, to come back and say, you know what, Matt, actually, I don't agree with what you're saying. And actually, I think this. Now, it might not be what I want to hear, but eventually it'll be what I need to hear. Spirit always gives us what we need, not what we want. So we'd all love to win the lottery, I'm sure. Even those people who says, oh no, love and light, we don't need money. I'll tell you what, for £1 million, that love and light statement wouldn't always go, and I'm sure you would agree with me. However, what I tend to find is the things that I need at that moment in time, whether monetary or non-monetary, is what I need, even if I don't think it at the time. So those wise words. So it's all gone quiet in the back now. Nothing personal, Mr. Producer. I was only giving that as an analogy. All right, he's feeling a lot better now. He's getting his boxing gloves on. So hopefully, Teresa, that makes sense to yourself. So where are we going? Yeah, it's this one. Phew, got a different one this time. Okay, so the 9 of air is for you, Teresa. And again, this is from Angel Tarot. So if you want to type it in, the 9 of air card in the Angel Tarot should come up a picture of it. So in here it says, expecting the worst. Oh, well, this is quite good, isn't it? Self-fulfilling prophecies, sleepless nights. Right, so this is about letting go. Now, I keep mentioning about personal responsibility. I am responsible for when I've had a go at Mr. Producer or whoever, but I'm only responsible for that. I can't take on their reactions, how they act, or anything else. So if I'm nasty to somebody, if I'm thinking, oh, you know what, I hope something happens to them because they've really annoyed me, then I've got to take responsibility for those negative thoughts. If I'm thinking, you know what, you deserve and start being aggressive with somebody, I've then got to take responsibility. Well, why did I react in that way? Why was I thinking that way? Because the way that I act, the way that I do things has a negative effect. The same as if I see someone and I think I'm going to help them, I'm going to do something positive, not because I have to, because I'm just drawn to do it. I need to help that person on the floor who's fallen over to pick them back up. I need to say something. You know what? You're such a kind person. I just need to tell you how your smile makes me happy every day. By putting those out, I'm turning my personal responsibility around in a positive way. And what I need to say to you, this card is not sitting down, rolling over, Teresa, and playing dead. It's about reflecting on what works and what doesn't work for you. It's about knowing when you're at your best and what makes you at your best, but also what brings you down. Now, it's important to know what brings you down, not to be sort of down in the dumps and pull you down, because if we know what brings us down, what makes us not feel good, then we avoid those situations. So if there's certain individuals, perhaps every time we meet them, they always, you know, feel like we're drained or they have a go at us or whatever, then simply we make sure that we move away from that person. If we go to work and the work, I come home thinking, I hate that job, then it's time to look for another job. So there's always different ways of thinking about it and different ways of dealing with it. And I need to say to you, it is about being honest with yourself and putting that smile that you've got in that picture, making that a permanent feature. All right, I'm thinking of positive. I want to look in the mirror and sort of say to myself, I deserve to be happy. I deserve this. I deserve that. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve that. So if someone speaks to you in the wrong way, then you say, I didn't deserve that. How would you like that if I spoke to you? And they might not like it. They might give you back, but they've then got to take ownership of their response. Hopefully that helps, Teresa, and hopefully that card made sense to yourself. Take care. Okay, any more hellos, Mr. Producer, please? Okay. Okay, so apologies for the people on Facebook. Apparently there are problems with the Facebook. It's not ourselves, it's from the Facebook end, that basically some of the questions aren't coming through. So please bear with us. Please make sure that you follow SPTV if you're on Facebook, and also subscribe to comment for YouTube. If you don't follow and you don't subscribe, then you won't be able to post messages to the channel. Hello there, Arlene New. Okay, so Arlene, I see magpies quite often. Is it a sign from spirit? One time I looked out my window and that is that moment. 4 magpies ran up my driveway, one after the other. Okay, So there are various animals that bring through spiritual messages that assign a spirit. I need to say to you, trust what you believe. So for example, and it's not a cliche, we have a robin. And when we go for our walks, we go through the local grounds that are local to us, a robin appears. And as we're walking around, the robin appears. When things are not going quite right, or there's something that needs to happen, the robin appears. So to me, they are messengers from spirit saying we're around. Now, when you think of those magpies, if there is a certain individual that you think of, that's just those individuals saying we're around you. Now, just to make this clear, because there's sometimes misconception, when we come back, when we reincarnate, we always ascend, we develop. So we don't go back to a lesser being. So it's not like Fluke, the book, James Herbert, of where, the dog, we don't transform into an animal or another form, something that is a higher thing. So why would we, if we're human beings, go to someone, to another form, like a fish or something? All right, so when we see the magpies, for example, we're not saying that is your granddad or that is your dad or whoever. They're just sending those messages to say, when you don't think I'm around, I am around. And I'm just putting these signs to show you that I'm around. So that is what it is. It's like a messenger. It's a sign from spirit to say that we're here. Now, I see magpies around. I always do the 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy and all of that. So one of the things that we have is when we see one magpie, we know there's a danger coming up. There's some warning. So, there's signs like that as well that you can, but that's obviously just my interpretation of what I've been used to. But if you put your mind to something to say, I was just thinking of my granddad, and then all these magpies, is that granddad? Then it's just your granddad saying, I am around. So hopefully that explains to you, Arlene. If not, then please comment again. And I wasn't insinuating to anybody that, certain things were, that we go to a lesser, like a dog or whatever, if there's a love of dogs. That's just general comment. It's the order as such. Right, now. Okay, so for you, Arlene, we're using the Angel Tarot by Radley Valentine, and your card is the Knight of Fire. So if you make a note of that, then you can again look it up. This is what your card looks like. Hope you see that okay. It says, a sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. So that's what it says in your card. For me, this is very much, the gentleman on the back of the horse, and including the horse has got lots of armor on it. And this to me is about the need for protection around you at the moment. Is that feeling of vulnerability and at times feeling on your own, even though you've got lots of family and lots of friends, feeling that you're on your own. I also want to say to you that, things are changing at a pace. Things are happening that are beyond your control. Allow those to happen because they're happening for a reason. As I said in the previous reading, Spirit gives us what we need, not what we want. So although we might not think we need something, they do, and they've seen the greater picture. In the card also, there are lots of waves at the background, so things have been quite turbulent. I want to go probably for the last 4 to 5 months for that turbulence. However, you're moving away from that and things are starting to calm down. And I want to say things have started to calm down over this last 4 to 5 days for yourself. Be strong, reclaim your power and be the strong person that you are. And see the strength within you and learn to sort of reclaim that power and not to give it. Because it's almost like I need to say that I'm sort of saying, I'm not doing this because I need to rest, and then that person goes away to give me time to rest, and I'm going, oh, perhaps I shouldn't do that. Perhaps I'll go and help them like they asked me to in the first place. No, once you've made a decision, if it feels right, if you did it for the right reasons, you need to stand by that conviction, not going back on your word, because again, that's giving your power away. There's lots of gold on this, and this is about seeing your heart as being very golden and very important, but also seeing the purity and the value of you, all right, and not putting yourself down. This is about seeing you for who you are. Hopefully that makes sense to yourself, Arlene, and thank you for your question. Okay, any more hellos, please, Mr. Producer? Hello, Josie Coco Madonna. Hello, Kathleen Connor. Hello, Olin Good. Hello, Malik SB. Hello, Nicola Humphreys. Hello, Joanne Wood. Hello, Martine Move. Is seen often a magpie my spirit animal? Thank you for answering. Okay, so with the magpie, obviously we've done quite a lot of this, but close your eyes, meditate, and ask your spirit animal to come towards you. Obviously, it's not immediate, it takes time. So there is many guided meditations on many sites that you can go on that will guide you through to your spirit animal. If the magpie is then the one, then that's what it will be. Okay, so for yourself, Marty. Look at this here, we've got the same card again, even though I've just shuffled them. So with this, sorry, can you just take it back just 1 second, please? Okay. Yeah, it's Marley. Okay. Okay, so now I've just had this card, I've shuffled them and you've given the same card. I need to say to you that with this card, I see this as things are starting to change and they're changing at a pace. Things are galloping forward. You don't see that things are changing dramatically because you understand that where we're on A, you want to be on P, Q, and R. Is that impatience a little bit? But things take time to unfold and things take time to happen. So give the time for things to happen. Not because you want it to change, because it needs time to everything to be put into place. I also want to say there may be that feeling after the new year that it almost feels like the rug's been taken because you like consistency, you like to know what's happening next, and there's that feeling of uncertainty. But actually, change and uncertainty is also a good thing rather than a negative thing, because if we don't know what's going to happen, we can't control it. Now, for some people, that brings anxiety, brings worry. So it's about controlling that. But it could also mean there is lots of things we weren't expecting that come in, so we can, again, flip it on its head and bring the positive view of it. That change is a good thing because we're not meant to stay still. We're not meant to just be stood in the same place, the same relationship, with the same friends. Never grow. We have to grow. That's how we are, whether that's emotionally, mentally, spiritually, whatever. You know, if you think when you have children, they grow physically, but with our minds, with our expansion of knowledge, we expand within our mind. So we, you know, our emotions through our different sort of people we meet, for our experiences, they grow. And we come to a point in our life where we think, right, we've fulfilled all of those, they're all growing quite nicely, but actually still something missing. And that's when our spiritual awakening, when our spiritual sort of knowledge starts to grow, and that wanting to know more, to fill that void that's been there for a while. And I need to say to you, this is need for the spiritual side to start to come in a bit with yourself, Martine. It's been there always, but there is that need where it's just always wanting just that little bit more, just to give you that reassurance, just to give you that comfort and that need. So certainly I want to be with like-minded people. If you want to join a church and that, because I don't know your circumstances, if that's what you feel you need, that sort of thing. But I just want to be around like-minded people. I want to having that thirst for spiritual knowledge. Not necessarily gaining qualifications, but perhaps learning, going on workshops and you know, sharing ideas, bouncing ideas off people to grow both spiritually, but also through the mind and through the emotional side as well, so that everything becomes balanced and there's a different part to you, Martin. So hopefully that makes sense. Thank you very much. And that was a Knight of Fire, that card. So any more hellos, please? Hello, Joanna Lewis. Hello, Joanna Hill. Hello, Julie Cook. Hello, Shalima Raguba Ferguson. Hopefully I've said your name. Okay, so Shalima says, I had a question about parenting spiritually, having difficulty balancing spiritual views with material world needs with the son. Okay, so Shalima, this is partly to do with yourself and also with your son. Because to me, the way I interpret your question, I can take on two sides. So I'm going to answer both of them. If I've got them completely wrong, apologies, but this is how I'm interpreting what you're saying. Sometimes we have our own needs that we want fulfilling, and then when we have children that have needs of their own, that we almost feel like a little bit of us has been lost a little bit, or it's had to be held back because we have to fulfill their needs. So the first way I interpret this is saying to you, by shutting off yourself, that you're also shutting off the real you. So don't shut off your spiritual self. Share it with your son. Now, if your son is not interested in the spiritual side, which is the other side I take it as being, take them that I can't make you believe, or I can't make you want to do what I'm doing, the same as you wouldn't want your son for him to do something because you wanted to do it. So it's about acknowledging your differences. Now, to me, you know, spirituality is such a wide thing, and we sort of, you know, especially when we're spiritualists, we just take the spiritual side. It's just we do psychic or mediumistic readings or healing. But there is so much to our spiritual well-being. So it's about looking at what we can do to bring that sort of closeness together, and sort of saying, right, okay, how can we boost so I have my spiritual needs met, but also so my son doesn't feel he has to, or that he has his needs met. So it could be that we look at our eating, what we eat, you know, perhaps we want to go on like a vegan or vegetarian, it may be that, or we just want to eat better. One night in the week we have a special food or whatever instead of takeaways or whatever. And it might be that we go for a walk in the woodlands for once a week, or during the holidays we make time out just for us to go to the coast, or family time. Because spiritual is not just about in the Bible or whatever book you read. It's not just about going to church. It's so much. It's about making a way of life. It's bringing it into your life in whatever way that is. So hopefully that's answered your question. If not, please come back to me, Shalima. But they're the two ways I interpreted your question. But don't shut off you. Still allow you to be you. So by being spiritual, my interpretation of spiritual, just before I go to your reading, is kind, caring, loving, and understanding. So you can be kind to you while still being kind to your son and to those around you. You can still love yourself and still be loving to all of your family. I don't know if you've just got a son or whatever, but to all your family. You can be understanding that there are different needs, different wants within the family, and you're not going to fulfill all of those. But if you make a try at them, then you can. And by caring and looking after you, then you're able to care for your son and other members of the family while still not abandoning your needs as well. All right, so hopefully that makes sense to yourself. Okay, right. So for you, Shalima, your card is this one. And it is the Page of Water. So remember, this is from the Angel Tarot cards by Radley Valentine. So it says, a new person enters your life, a relationship begins a new phase, heightened psychic ability. So I'm just reading what's gone there, as I've done with all of them. However, I interpret the cards how I interpret them. I want to say it's been quite lots of ups and downs with yourself, and there's been a lot going on. It's been almost can't see the wood for the trees. Your head's been all over the place. There's been upset and everything else. And it's that need to find balance, to almost like put the brakes on and want it to slow down. So there will be that need, as I mentioned earlier with somebody else, to draw back a little bit, but actually to use that time to analyze what wasn't quite right, what messed the water up, so to speak, what made you troubled, what made you upset, and everything else. And once you've identified what the problem is then thinking, right, how can I overcome this now? So for example, and I'm just giving these examples, I'm not saying this is part of your reading. If someone's upset me, what was it that upset me? Was it their words? Was it the fact they embarrassed me? Was it the fact that they disrespected me? And once I've established that, so let's use disrespect, then I think, right, okay, if these are a partnership, if they're a relationship, then it's about sitting down and talking as adults and sort of, or as the children, whoever, and sort of saying to him, do you understand that you disrespected me and that hurt me? And talking about how it hurt you. Now that's not giving your power away. That's actually putting the onus back on them. So they have to take responsibility. Now you may get where the person goes, so what? What's that got to do with me? In which case, then you've seen their true colours, and that answers the questions whether I need to be close with that person or whether I need to back away. But it's also for them then to take ownership of that. And they might not do, as one of the other readers says, you know, why is it that all these things happen to the good people and the bad people, you know, nothing happens to them? They say this all the time. It's not that nothing happens to them, we just don't see at that moment in time the effect, what it has on them. I also want to say within the card, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I want to say peace is coming. And I want to go to the month of February for that sort of thing start to calm down. Because I want to say it's been very much like this for the last 8 to 9 months. So certainly from about March onwards with this year. However, by sort of February time, things will start to calm down and become a lot calmer for you. Because it's almost, Charlene, you've found what you want and what you're not willing to accept. You've started to stand up for you to say, and you've learned how to say no, is one of the things I need to say. The other thing here is there is, in here is the shark and the whale. There's a battle going on. And this is your spiritual self and your material self that's sort of saying, I need this to live, but you'll say, yeah, but you need this to be the spiritual self. There's an inner battle going on. So rather than having this inner conflict and reacting to things, then just allow it to happen. Allow that spiritual side to come out more, and that will help the material side. But at the moment, in the past, the material side has ruled the boring things we have to do in life. But the spiritual side is trying to come through more just to create a better balance within yourself. Hopefully that makes sense to yourself. Thank you for that, Charlene. Okay, any more of those, please, Mr. Producer? Hello there, Helen Graham. Good evening to you. Nice dog there. Hello, Deborah Feeney. Hello, Louise Sims. Hello, Julie Hurst. Hello, Michelle John. Okay, well, I'll just do both. So can you put the first one on to Matty? Okay, so Matty Tellem says, good evening, Matt. Hope Kirsty's okay. Yeah, she's just she had a flu jab at the weekend. I think it's with tiredness and everything's just there, but thank you for that. Do you believe that remote healing becomes stronger remotely or in person? Can you see the energy transfer through spirit and guides to the person being healed? Right, so this is my belief from, I am a healer, both a spiritual, Reiki and other forms of healing. And this is my interpretation. It's your intention, and it's how you have prepared, got yourself in the right mindset. So as to whether the strength of the healing works. Now, I've had healing given to me that's been from miles away, and it's been so strong that it was always like, and I've said to him, did you send me healing? And the person went, oh yeah, I sent about 10 o'clock. I thought, yeah, I could feel that. I was absolutely boiling. And the next day I've woken up and felt a lot better. I've also had healing that's been sent to me remotely, and I've not felt a thing. And I've gone, what, you sent it? Yeah, I sent it at 11 o'clock. You'd be like a new person, and it's had no effect. Because if the intention is pure and comes from the right place, and that you've attuned to that energy source, whatever that source belief system is, whether it's from the God force, whether it's from the universal force, whatever your belief is, it will always work if you've attuned and got yourself in the right frame of mind, focused and everything else. If you haven't, if it's almost like, well, you know, I'm the best healer in the world, I'm going to send this, it's going to be, you're making all these funny sounds and everything else, it's not going to work, because at the end of the day, again, depending on what your belief system is, it's not you. You are just an intermediary. You're just a little person in the middle of the bigger picture, where you're drawing it from the universe, where you're drawing it from the God force, whether you get it from Christ, whatever your belief system is, you are just the channel that's sending it to the patient. You're not the expert, you're just a physical connection that allows that to work. So you're part of the partnership, and there'll be loads of healers now going, oh, that's a load of rubbish, that is. You're just a physical connection, because the spirit will need your connection to allow that to happen. But it's them that are doing the work using the energy that's coming through. Now, the same thing happens if it's a contact healing, hands-on healing, whatever your association works on, or your belief system. That physical contact, if that attunement isn't right, will be just as weak as if I'm sending it with the wrong intention. If I've attuned myself, citing the power, or whatever else you want to use, if I've used that, it will always be strong. But you can't denote how strong it's going to be. I've had people who have gone, oh, I almost fainted because I got too hot and everything. And other people go, yeah, that was nice. You're not down to say that this is going to be fantastic, it's going to be the best healing you've ever had. You just simply put your hands in there, or you send that thought, absent, distant healing, whatever, and just say, I want this to be the best. And to ask for the spirit world to come in, or whatever way you're working, to work with you. And they are the ones that do the actual healing, not yourself. So although we're a spiritual healer, healing medium, or whatever, Reiki healer or sound healer, you are just the physical instrument for the greater force, whatever that force is. So to me, there isn't a stronger, whether it's remotely or in person, it's the intention of the person. So hopefully that helps, Matty. So I'll just quickly get you a card. Okay. And for you, it's the Queen of Fire. So for you, I want to say, it says, confident, warm, intelligent and graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. So this is not put limitations on yourself. Now, this isn't just with healing. This is everything. So if I think, well, I can only do this much, I can only do that much. If I think I'm only going to get 80% in my test, I'm only going to get 80% because I've limited that thinking. If I think that I can achieve the best I can achieve, I can be the best healer that I will try to be. I will try and be the best medium I can be to the best of my ability. then you're opening up to sort of say anything is possible, because you're not saying you are the best, you're trying to be the best that you can be within yourself. And by not putting those limitations, especially from energy work, you are allowing the energies to flow a lot better. I also want to say in here, there is so much gold, there is so much colour, and there's so much upliftment coming for you, Matty, at the moment. So I need to say to you, because I'm feeling quite depleted as I say that, is just to say to you, some of that healing, whether you use the Bible of physician heal thyself or the saying of healer heal thyself, we also need as well. And when we need to rest, we rest. When we need time out, we have time out. We need to recoup and refill that glass. Otherwise, we're pouring from an empty glass. So learn that balance. It's not give, give, give. It's also receive as well. And the very last thing I need to say to you, I want the power of the elements, and I want the element of fire and the salamander coming in for yourself, and that source of energy coming back just to refill. Because I feel here that my stomach is a source of where energy is being lost. So I want you to work on that. If you've got someone who's a fellow healer or whatever, to work on that energy source. For whatever is happening around the stomach area, I feel that that energy is being lost at that point. So just be wary of that. Okay, so thank you for that, Matty. And the next one, please. It's PH, was Penny. Okay, so the next question, I believe was Penny when I was reading it before, PLPH. Do people who are approaching transition usually see spirit, or is it just the spiritually minded? Okay, so my understanding, and this is my understanding, is that spirit, well, I want to say is from spirit, they don't say, well, I won't go to, they're not spiritually minded. Oh, they've never believed in God, so I'm not going to come through to them. When we come through, our loved ones come to collect us. They come through to help us to transition over. We are not ones to make judgments. We're not ones to say, because you belong to that faith, you can't be transitioned over because, or I don't believe, so you can't transition over. I remember a story, Penny, many, many years ago, and I was only about 7 or 8 at the time. Now, I was brought up as a Roman Catholic, and I'm not having to go to the Roman Catholic Church, but there was a church up the top of the road, and I used to have people who go, why are you not going to church? You do realise that if you don't go to church, you won't go to heaven. Now, to me at that age, that didn't sit right. And it didn't sit right to me, going to talk to the man at the end of the road who didn't have many friends, helping the old lady across the road carrying her bags. To me, that was doing a better deed. And this comes down to your words, actions, and everything else. Now, if I felt like that at the age of 7 or 8, and obviously I've progressed in my development now, that I look back now and thought, well, actually, had they progressed, because these were people in the 60s and the 70s that were sort of saying, oh, you're not going to go to heaven because you're not going to church. That was their view. It wasn't mine. So in answer to your question, we all transition through to spirit. It's to whether you believe through your belief system. Do we go to the spirit world? Do we go to heaven? Do we go to, Valhalla or wherever else? At the end of the day, we all go over to the other world, and our loved ones come and collect us and transition over. And I've seen that many times when I've worked in care homes, when I've worked with dementia patients, and also from my spiritual mediumship work and different things. I've seen people come through many, many times. Obviously, that's my interpretation. Hopefully that helps a little bit. And for yourself, card-wise, for you, it's this one, is the Dreamer. And it's Archangel Metatron. Okay, one of the greatest of the archangels. A leap of faith, follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities. Now, I don't normally read, I obviously read the words out all the time for all of you, but I don't go with the words. But with this, I need to say to you, this is about a leap of faith. This is about you acknowledging what you're receiving, what you are feeling, and that there is that need for change to happen. You've been feeling like, you know, things don't sit right with me, I need to change my thinking, or I'm thinking of moving, I'm thinking of doing this. It's almost like lots of changes have been happening over this like last 14 to 15 months. Got nothing to do with COVID. Well, I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon. Lots of changes are happening, irrespective of whether it's COVID or not. And this is almost like everything's going at a pace. And I just want to pull it back a little bit, but you're not meant to pull it back. You're just allowed to go with the ride and allow it to happen. I mentioned to the last person about you can only limit your thoughts, and that limits your thinking. But you know, if you think of the many vast universes, the ones we've not even discovered, there is so much endless energy and opportunities. We think of manifestations and different things, and this is about you tapping into that source, about what it is that you want, and don't thinking, well, I don't deserve it. Actually, you do deserve it. The other thing I need to say to you, there are lots of spirit around you. There's lots of loved ones around you, and I particularly want a grandfather figure, and I want to go on mother's side of the family who wants to be acknowledged. And in the final bit of here, there is a dog within the picture, and I want a dog in spirit. And I'm not sure if it's a Labrador or it feels more like that than a Golden Retriever, but it's that coloured dog that I want in spirit in there. And lots of green around you, lots of healing. And if we think about the chakra colours, I always keep telling the students, when you go for colours, don't go for chakra colours, but I want to go towards the heart, and that's where the healing's needed. All right, hopefully that makes sense to you, and thank you for your question, Penny. Okay, guys, we've unfortunately come to the end of another show. It's been lovely. Thank you for all your lovely comments to Kirsty. I'll pass those on to her and while she sort of rests and gets well, for hopefully being with us next week. Thank you for all your support and your lovely questions. Please join us at 8 o'clock UK time every Monday, but also please go to sptv.uk and look at the different shows that are on, because there's something there for everybody each day, each week, and you know, something always. You know, lots of opportunities for reading, but there's other things like the church service at Wimbledon and that. But thank you so much for joining us. You're welcome, Nicola. Thank you. Thank you, Penny, for your comments also. We look forward to seeing you, but for now, whatever you're doing, take care of it next week. Look after yourself, and look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, everyone.
Spiritual Psychics TV.online. Spiritual Psychics TV isn't just an online broadcasting service. We also offer many features via our website. SPTV offers a unique directory that uses geolocation to find your nearest reader or venue, just by using your postcode. The Academy section allows anyone to upload and create their own spiritual courses within minutes. For those who like to read, then our online magazine area will offer just that. The SPTV shop enables anyone to start their online shop, be it to sell used or new items. You can also find our schedule and information about our shows.
Spiritual Psychics TV, bringing spiritual people together.